What in God's name are you doing? Adrian Thorne's voice, sharp and cold, sliced through the silence of his sprawling penthouse at 2 in the morning. The young woman looked up from the textbooks spread across the polished marble floor, her face illuminated by the small beam of a flashlight. Elena Morales sat with a quiet composure that seemed to infuriate him even more. Around her, cleaning supplies were neatly arranged, a testament to her finished work. Before we continue, tell us where in the world you are watching from. Drop it in the comments below. And if you enjoy this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful content like this. Yet, here she was, poring over complex financial models as if the $50 million apartment were her personal study hall. "Mr. Thorne," she said, her voice even and steady, "I've completed my duties for the night. I was just reviewing my notes before heading home." Adrian descended the grand staircase, his expensive silk robe a stark contrast to her simple, worn uniform. At 45, he had built a corporate empire by being utterly ruthless, a man who believed everyone had a designated place in the world, and a cleaner study in finance in his home was a clear violation of that order. "Reviewing notes?" he scoffed, his laughter echoing with contempt. "Do you realize where you are? This is not a community college library. This is my home. I pay you to scrub floors, not to pretend you have a future beyond them." Elena slowly closed her book, her movements deliberate and devoid of fear. She had faced far worse storms than this man's fragile ego. "With all due respect, sir, the penthouse is spotless, just as it is every night. My work is done." Her calm reply only fueled his anger. For months, Elena had been a ghost to him, another faceless employee who came and went. But seeing her here, surrounded by books that spoke of ambition, of a world he believed was exclusively his, ignited something primal within him. "Listen to me," he snarled, stepping closer to loom over. "People like you need to understand your limitations. Don't aspire to be something you're not." It's pathetic. A flicker of something unreadable passed through Elena's eyes, a glint that made him instinctively recoil. It wasn't fear or anger. It was the quiet certainty of someone holding a winning hand. "People like me," she repeated slowly, as if tasting the word. "An interesting choice of phrase, Mr. Thorne." For 6 months, Elena had done more than just clean. She had observed. She overheard hushed phone calls about market manipulation, saw documents left carelessly on his desk detailing illegal offshore accounts, and witnessed meetings where corporate sabotage was planned with casual indifference. Information a man like Adrian Thorne would never imagine his invisible cleaning lady could possibly comprehend, let alone meticulously document. "You're fired," he declared with a final dismissive wave of his hand. "Get your things and get out, and don't bother asking for a reference." Elena stood, gathering her books with the same quiet dignity she had maintained throughout the encounter. At the door, she paused and turned back, a faint, enigmatic smile playing on her lips. "Mr. Thorne," she said, her voice now carrying a strange weight, "have you ever considered that the people you never see are the ones who see everything?" The question hung in the air, heavy with unspoken meaning, long after she had disappeared down the hallway, carrying not just her books, but 6 months of damning evidence against the man who had just sealed his own fate. She wasn't just a cleaner being unjustly fired. She was a finance graduate, top of her class, who had spent half a year orchestrating the perfect trap. 3 weeks after her dismissal, the financial strain on Elena's family was becoming unbearable. Her last paycheck was gone, spent on medicine for her ailing mother, Maria, and the little money left was not enough to cover the month's rent. "Did you find anything today?" her younger sister, Sophia, asked, her voice tired after a long shift at the local diner. "I'm still looking," Elena lied, quickly closing the laptop where she had been organizing the final pieces of the case against Adrian. She couldn't tell her family her real plan. They wouldn't understand why she was turning down other cleaning jobs, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Meanwhile, Adrian Thorne was celebrating at the exclusive rooftop bar where he conducted most of his business. He recounted the story of the uppity cleaning girl to his associate. "You should have seen her," he chuckled, swirling a glass of expensive scotch, studying financial theory in my living room, as if she could ever understand our world. Listening from behind the bar, wiping glasses, was Leo Martinez, a young investigative reporter working undercover to pay off his student loan. He had been trying to expose Adrian's corrupt practices for 2 years, but could never get close enough. The story of a fired cleaner who was studying finance was the lead he had been waiting for. The next day, he found Elena at the city's public library. "Excuse me," he said, approaching her table cautiously. "My name is Leo Martinez. I heard you used to work for Adrian Thorne." Elena looked up, her gaze analytical. She saw in his eyes a hunger for the truth. "I did. Why?" Leo sat down, his voice dropping to a whisper. "Because I've been building a case against him for years, but I've always lacked insider proof. Someone who was inside his home for months." It was then that Elena knew she had found her ally. "What kind of proof do you need?" she asked, opening her laptop for the first time to a stranger. Leo's eyes widened as he saw the meticulously organized folder, bank transfers, audio snippets from overheard calls, photos of documents, all cataloged with dates and time. "My God," he whispered, "this is enough to bring down his entire operation." Over the next few weeks, they worked in secret, cross-referencing every piece of data. The final nail in the coffin came from a source inside Adrian's own company, who provided security footage from the penthouse. The footage showed Adrian in the very same room where he had humiliated Elena, explicitly offering a bribe to a city official to rig a public contract. The irony was almost poetic. "We have him," Leo said, showing her the video. "This is it. We go public on Monday." That Monday morning, Adrian Thorne woke to a storm. His phone buzzed incessantly with calls from his lawyers, his partners, and a dozen different news outlets. The headline on the front page of every major newspaper screamed, "Thorne's empire built on fraud. Exclusive documents reveal years of corruption." He stumbled into his living room, his hands shaking as he read the article. Every crime, every secret deal was laid bare, supported by irrefutable evidence. At the end of the article, a single line made his blood run cold. Evidence provided by an anonymous source with intimate access to Mr. Thorne's private residence. The doorbell rang. Through the intercom, a familiar, calm voice spoke. "Mr. Thorne, it's Elena Morales. I believe you have something of mine." When he opened the door, she stood there, no longer in a cleaner's uniform, but in a sharp business suit, holding a copy of the newspaper. "I just wanted to make sure you saw it," she said with that same enigmatic smile. "You fired me for studying finance, Mr. Thorne. You never stopped to think that I already had my degree. You saw a cleaner, and that was the only mistake that ever mattered." As federal agents swarmed his building and his empire crumbled to dust, Adrian finally understood. He hadn't been defeated by a rival or a regulator. He had been brought down by the one person he believed was beneath his notice.